Welcome to the biggest event in all of youth sports. Live from the Paradise Coast Sports Complex in beautiful Naples, Florida. This is the 2021 FBU National Championship Bracket Show. The path to Naples starts right now!
Welcome to the 2021 FBU National Championship Selection Show from the gorgeous, state-of-the-art Paradise Coast Sports Complex here in Naples, Florida. Hi, everyone. I'm Neil Sika, here to have some fun with my favorite Georgia Peach, Alex Benson.
What's going on, brother?
National Recruiting Director. Well, you're national.
Yeah. Not a Georgia Peach anymore?
You've migrated to the south.
I'm trying to figure out a Georgia Peach
move.
Trust me.
Eric Richards, the National Recruiting Director for the All-American Bowl, and making his triumphant return to Southwest Florida. We should have had you come up and smoke up the steps. Prep Red Zone next, National Recruiting Director, Alan Papadines. Pops, good to see you.
Fellas, good to be back here, man. Feels really good to be home.
We're getting ready for 5.5 weeks of the best youth football the country has to offer, and coming off a 10th FBU National Championship. This is your favorite time of year, I know.
You know what, man? Great competition all around. Eric's been around it. Pop's been around it. You've been around it for so long. But there can be only one true national championship, right? Guys, I mean, we've seen it all. From whatever event it might say they are out there, this is it. The FBU National Championship is it. The path to Naples, the biggest event out there. You have sports from 8 different regions, comes only one champion.
Yeah, 32 different teams / region associations represented, Alex, over 3,500 athletes across the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade level, all come down and over the past longer than a decade now, longer than a decade, establish a true national champion, unlike other Mickey Mouse Bowls.
Yeah, you know, you're right. 3,500 kids coming down here from all over the country. It's great for exposure. As we all know, this recruiting game is bumping up, and kids earlier and earlier are getting found by colleges, found by coaches, found by guys like you. And coming down here, it's great if you're the best in your own backyard, right? Like you could be the baddest guy on the block. You come down here, there's a bunch of bad dudes, and you're going to find out who can really play.
Well, the reputation of this tournament speaks for itself. Mentioning earlier, last season was the 10th edition, going back to 2011 when the 8th graders first put toe to leather to play for a national championship down in San Antonio. And it created some memorable moments right here in Naples, Florida. Fun reliving those memories from last year. Lots of memorable moments. And, of course, you have to start with the tip of the iceberg, GFL.
Well, it's something when you climb to the top of the ladder, the top of the mountain, however you want to word it. My hometown, which I'm very proud of as well, the GFL last year won the 7th and 8th grade titles. They had a three-peat at the 8th grade level. Look, what they did there was amazing. And I think it was the second time that it happened.
Yeah, and don't forget about little brother, GMSA.
Yeah, GMSA, man. Often thought of as, maybe not on the same level as GFL, But, man, we'll get into some kids later on. Braden Stoker, watch out for this young man. He's going to make some plays.
Yeah, Coach Curtis McGee finally kicked down the door over there. GMSA got his first title at the 6th grade level. They've got to be the favorite coming back, especially the way that group has gone out and grown during their tryouts and everything, Al. And then what Brent Voiles did at the 8th grade level last year, those kids are on the freshman, and here comes Chris Gant, right? And with a chance for a second three-peat. It'll be the second, we waited a decade for that to happen, and now it's got a chance of happening back-to-back, but they got some tall orders just to get out of their bracket with that new improved South Georgia team.
Hey, what's real cool, quickly, is GMSAA now has the Carrollton Trojans as part of their program. Carrollton, everyone knows it, more of Western Georgia, talented kids, but now they're under the GMSAA umbrella on the 8th grade level, so that could be
Thanks for bringing that up.
No, I'm sorry, my man, but that could be a game changer.
You know what? Look, man, GFL, again, has played very well. GMSAA has played very well. But just that bracket in general, to come out of there, people are going to look at you possibly as having a chance to win the national championship. Now, look, these players have been etched in the football history. Last year, the first 10 years of the FBU National Championship introduced some of the nation's best future high school All-Americans and NFL stars, Eric.
Yeah, I start at the top. The number 1 pick overall in the 2021 NFL Draft, Trevor Lawrence. Had James Cook, who's Mr. Do-It-All at UGA, the number 1 ranked team in the country. Naquan Wright looks to be carrying the mail for Florida. JT Tutoamalo, and when he made his run with Seattle and Emeka, that's at Ohio State. Caleb Williams, a name that a lot of people didn't know, came through this program and played with the Metro Maryland as a 6th grader, really made the switch from offensive lineman to quarterback at our Top Gun camps in the 6th grade under Tony Ballard. And then you got the whole West Coast quarterback deal. And let's start at the top with Matt Corral, the Heisman favorite, Neil, this year. JT Daniels, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Bryce Young, Kayvon Thibodeau, and all those from Southern Cal. And I look for Southern Cal to kind of have a resurgence. They got the 3 of the top 10 teams in the nation are that high school with Servite, St. Bosco, and Mater Dei. And so we know players are over there.
Absolutely. And you just look, the true testament to this, if you put on your football on Saturday afternoon, you go team by team by team in the top 25, loaded with FBU National Championship guys. It's that black and white.
I think the great thing about this tournament through the years, and if you're talking to the average football fan and they're getting familiar with the FBU National Championship for the very first time or asking about it, all you have to do is point to the talent level and who's graduated on to the college game, the professional game. It is so impressive to see what's happened over the last decade plus. And of course, there's plenty of facts that come with the history of the championship going back to 2011. Our Joe Buffard, we're going to call this Boof's Truth, to give you some facts about what's in store for this latest edition of the FBU National Championship. Boof?
Hey, thanks, fellas. All right, my first trivia question is as follows. Who was the first FBU National Championship alumni to be drafted to the NFL?
All right, Boof, good stuff. The first FBU National Championship alum to be selected in the NFL draft. Any guesses, gentlemen? We're going to wait for your answers on that. But let's set the logistics of the path to Naples as we're getting closer to the 2021 FBU National Championship. The next generation of football stars will come down and kick things off in rounds 1 and 2, Thanksgiving weekend, November 27th through December 12th. The Pacific Regional kicks off the festivities November 27th and 28th. These 6 regionals, December 4th and 5th. And finally, the Florida Regional, December 11th and 12th. The round 2 winners in our 8 regions advance to championship week here in Naples. That begins December 17th through the 21st for the quarterfinals, semifinals, and championships. Now in its 8th year in Naples, the FBU National Championship continuing to attract fans of all ages across the country for championship week. And it's been a great host. And for more on the growth of this tournament here, the managing partner of Football University, I love working with him, Steve Quinn.
Hard to believe, this time last year, we were working with about half of what we have today. As you can see behind me, we have the beautiful fields in Phase 1 that are now done. This beautiful stadium, which now includes VIP seating, press boxes, stands for our families to enjoy, and of course, we can't forget about what they call the Cove, which is a sports bar where all of our families can enjoy beverages throughout the week. We also like to thank, of course, Collier County, all of their commissioners, the CVB, the TDC, all of our sponsors that have helped to make this happen, which include Gatorade, Soldier, Adidas, Wilson, Prep Red Zone, and 24/7 Sports. We're excited to once again be in beautiful Naples, Florida for the Football University National Championships, December 17th through the 21st. We'll see you here.
Steve, thanks so much. Looking forward to a great championship, the 11th edition. What are you most looking forward to in this year's tournament?
I'm looking forward to the competition, right? I mean, here's the deal, right? You had COVID last year, so a lot of things had to be adjusted. And this year, I'm just looking back to football, right? Just looking back to everybody being there, great competition, just the environment that football brings. So that is what I'm looking forward to. Eric, what about you?
This is easy for me. The godfather of middle school football is back, covering the tournament. He should have been covering the whole time, and having Al Pops back. That's definitely hands down what I'm looking most forward to.
Eric, I appreciate you saying that, man. I'm looking forward to, I'm back. I haven't been here for a little bit. I'm looking to see what new teams are going to emerge this year. We got new teams in a couple regions. We have some returners, but who's going to take that step up and be different this year? That's what I'm looking forward to, guys.
You've been in the basement for 40 years studying players. It's good to get a little sunlight and glow now that you're back here.
I'm a little pale, man.
All right, Pops. Good to see you. All right, fellas, it's time to get down to the brass tacks. What we're here for.
The brackets. Go.
The brackets. The vaunted South is up first. We will reveal that here on the 2021 FBU National Championship Selection Show when we return. But first, a word from our sponsors in Gatorade and Collier County.
Florida's Paradise Coast is more than just the home of the FBU National Championships. We're also the home of endless natural beauty and wild adventures. The home of holes in one and one-of-a-kind dishes. The home of incredible comebacks and just plain kicking back. So come discover a sports paradise and play well. In Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades.
Welcome back to the Paradise Coast Sports Complex in Naples, Florida. The time has come to reveal the brackets for the 2021 FBU National Championship. We start in the South, and these are the teams participating. South Florida, Central Florida, Jacksonville, Southwest Florida, GMSAA, Northwest Florida, South Georgia, GFL. All right, fellas, so many talented teams in the South, and it's time to get to the matchups for the 2021 FBU National Championship in this bracket. Utilizing the same procedure of previous years through random draw, great balls of fun, of course, the brackets and teams were selected for matchup. And here they are. Okay, so there we have the South bracket. What stands out to you, Eric?
Well, I mean, it's going to be played right here in Lowood. The Central Florida team director is going to bring his bunch down here. He has gotten better and better every year. Got a team down here last year. What he builds, firsthand, Pop. They're going to be playing that South Florida short drive across Alligator Alley for that winner. And then you got Jacksonville, Claude Wright, who had, toed with going into the Atlanta bracket for years, is coming down here and playing Southwest Florida. Southwest Florida has reached into Fort Myers to get some talented athletes, so they're getting better and better every year. Had a great 8th grade team last year. And then dropping down to the Georgia bracket, talk about the matchup that's always dodged that first day.
Every year, right? 9 out of 10 years, GFL and GMSAA have not played each other in the first round. That's out the window this year, man. You're getting two heavyweights. We're talking Tyson versus Ali, right? We're talking two big-name programs right off the bat. I mean, I'll say it. Get your popcorn ready.
Yeah. I mean, usually those teams have a day to kind of work out their fumbles and their penalties and everything, and then they meet on Sunday in that Beaufort Sports Complex, packed with thousands of people, and then you have blocked field goals and everything else that happens there, Neil. But in the other side, South Georgia that I spoke with on Quincy Randolph, and what he's building is going to be playing Anthony Hemingway's teams out of Panama City, Fort Walton, and Destin area. And, when you play that panhandle of Florida, anything can happen.
Hey, man, that South Georgia team, one quick note on them. Aaron Ross, 2-time Super Bowl champion. He's their 8th grade coach. It's a big one.
So that is the South bracket. Pop's even going across different eras of boxing to make the comparison of the two heavyweights. Alex, football is spectacular, but it's also about the experience that these youngsters have coming down here to the Paradise Coast.
It is. It's my first time down here last year. Great time, right? You got the beach, you got the sun. Here's the environment. Again, I go back to that. The environment that these guys set up is amazing. It's second to none. Now, I'm going to throw in one name real quick before we jump into that. GFL, take a look at Tyler Atkinson and Deuce Geralds. I'm talking about guys, if anybody remembers a guy named Nolan Smith who's at UGA right now, that is who he reminds you of. I mean, there's a movie that just came out, Venom, Carnage. That's what he is. He's an absolute monster. But here's the deal. Let's get back to it. Championship week is a special week for all these guys. What can they look forward to when they come down here? What makes Championship Week so special down here at the Path of Naples here in Paradise Coast?
Well, you heard Steve Quinn speak about it. I think the marquee of the week, and we'll talk about it a little bit more, is our freshman All-American game. It's 60 of the best freshmen from around the country coming in. They play on that off night, Monday night, when the teams are taking a break from the first 2 rounds and everything. And it's packed house, and you're going to get to see 40 guys that have Division I offers. Usually about 20 to 30 of them end up with an All-American game offer. To me, that's what I look forward to the most down here that week.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's cool. In fact, me and you were texting the other night about a kid who I was like, Eric, is this guy going to get in the game? You're like, we'll see. So competition there is unreal. To me, I love just seeing guys from all over the country. I love seeing a kid from New Jersey, if they get here, talking to a kid from, Southern California. Like, those kids would never meet any other time in life. Their paths probably won't cross, but they're doing it down here, which goes beyond the X's and O's of what's going down on the field. There's some kids making lifelong friendships.
That's what makes it the best event in not only youth football, but youth sports. Now it's time to reveal the Midwest bracket. Kentucky, Wisconsin, Indiana, Kansas City, Houston, Austin, Dallas, Mississippi. All right, Alex, we know the South has had its pedigree of championship teams, but the Midwest has put some teams on the podium in past tournaments.
Here it is, the Bluegrass State, right? They're playing some good football, not just known for basketball no more, right? Not known just for the crossover and three-point shot. They can actually go ahead and get behind those pads and get it on. So I'm curious to see. Here's the deal. One thing Eric told me last year. He said, Alex, when you come here, I guarantee you Kentucky fans will be some of the loudest fans out there. We're on the other field, and you hear them just hollering. Came over there, Kentucky's getting it on. So tell me about it.
They travel well. I mean, Bronson Gowdy and Adam Lampman have a true middle school association that stretches from one end of the east side of the state over to the Louisville and the western side of the state. What can be said? I mean, they pushed GFL to the brink last year, Neil. That was a ball game up to the late in the third quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a team that comes very well organized. It's one of the better middle school football states. I'm pretty excited about what Kentucky's bringing.
9 trips to championship week. 8th grade won 2020 runner-up. I mean, they've produced Rondale Moore, Wandale Robinson, Cash Daniel, Drake Jackson, Landon Young, all those great linemen that have been a part of that program. And they do it right. And Wisconsin, they're back in for the first time, and they were successful when they used to be in the tournament. Indiana, we were talking about Kentucky, but Indiana played Kentucky to dang near a field goal game to get for Kentucky to get down here. They've had 6 trips to championship week. Players Carson Steele, who's at Ball State now. You got FBU former freshman All-American Danny O'Neill at Cathedral High School, who played in the freshman game and lit it up. He's having a great sophomore campaign. Kansas City, when we first started this tournament, Neil, you'll remember Kansas City was a regular in the Final Four coming out of that Midwest bracket. But it's great to have them back in 2017. And then Pops down in Texas. Talk about the teams down there.
Yeah, everybody knows Texas is synonymous with football and big-time football. And you look at the teams coming out of there. Houston, 6th grade title in 2014. the man with the best calves in all of college football, Bryce Foster.
The Mountain.
The Mountain, man. He was a member of that team. Donovan Jackson, right? You had a bunch of big names come through that Houston program. Can they find that magic again, right? Can they get back to the top of the mountain? You have Austin.
We know they do good barbecue.
Oh, that's for sure, man. You got Austin, right? One finals appearance, right? But they are building something there. I've talked with those coaches and team directors. They had some deep tryouts. I mean, I'm not going to make any predictions yet, guys, but Austin is much improved. They're much better this year. Dallas, 3 straight titles, 2013, 14, 15. We talked about that team as the first ever three-peat for us. They didn't lose a game. 18-0, that group, as they came through the tournament. R.J. Mickens at Clemson, Jaquindon Jackson in Texas. There's a bunch of good dudes on that team that went on to the next level. And then finally now, Mississippi, going to mix it up with the Texas boys, right? Kamari Rogers, Jaheim Otis, FBU All-Americans when it was their time as freshmen. That team is deep, big, fast, physical. That's going to be a dogfight.
So the matchups are set in the Midwest, pardon the pun, but guys, what pops on the screen when you look at this bracket now?
The Indiana-Kentucky matchup first round that's look like the GFL GMSA. They were able to usually dodge each other since Kentucky made that switch out of the Atlanta bracket to over there. They're heavy hitters coming in there, so I hope team director Chad Spann, has Indiana together because they're going to have a game right out of the batch against Kentucky. And then the other matchup?
Yeah, Kansas City, Wisconsin, right? Wisconsin, first time back in a tournament here under new leadership there. I'm very interested to see what they put together in terms of new kids, new areas, just spreading the word and getting the best kids.
And then down in Texas, Neil, you got Tim Jackson leading Team Houston. Has been there since the inaugural year of the FBU National Championship, and they're going against a new foe coming over into that bracket, Marcus Dent in Mississippi.
Yeah, okay, and then you have Dallas and Austin. Coach Harb is putting together a beast down there in Texas with Dallas. And then with Austin, Carlos Chester, another new director who is doing a bunch of good stuff there. And again, I already spoke on how they're much improved. Just wait till they hit the field, guys. I'm telling you, it's a new Austin.
Who's the team to beat, 8th grade, Midwest?
Kentucky, right?
Yeah, you have to.
I mean,
you
come
have
on.
to. You have to.
Kentucky, they've got the target on their backs in the Midwest. Earlier, we had Joe Buffard reveal our trivia question here on this FBU National Championship Selection Show. The first FBU alum to be drafted into the NFL. We're going to go back to Booth. He's got the answer for us.
Okay, fellas, the answer to my earlier trivia question, who was the first FBU National Championship alumni to be drafted? Well, that was Zach Allen. 2019, 3rd round to the Arizona Cardinals, played on Team Connecticut the first 2 years.
All right, thanks, Booth. Booth's truth. I like that. Zach Allen, did you have that on your bingo card?
No, I would have said Isaac Nada, so I know they both had that 2016 class, but it had to be close.
I was thinking that too, actually. I was thinking Isaac Nada.
Nada went late in the 6th or 7th round.
Yeah, I think he's still hanging around out there.
Yeah.
Hanging in there.
All right, that is your Midwest bracket. Now we move along to the West and the regions of the Pacific and Northwest. Utah, Irvine, Sacramento, SoCal, Oregon, Seattle, Eastern Washington, Northern Washington. All right, so those are the teams in the West. The Pacific and the Northwest are where the regions will be held. Alex, a lot of good teams there.
There are a lot of good teams. And, we got the rain here behind us going down.
It's very fitting.
It is fitting. And we're about to talk about the Pacific. Eric, Pops, you first. Let's go ahead and dive into it.
Yeah, man. So you look at the West, right? You have Utah, who shocked literally the entire world when they made the finals.
Okay.
Dude,
Right
I felt yeah, that's right, Neil. Felt the rumbles all the way back in Jersey at that point, man. But Utah, they're back, right? They got some new blood there, pulling kids from new areas. So interested to see what they do. Irvine, new to the tournament as well. Okay, so a bunch of unknowns right there, right off the bat.
Supposedly some Ducks are going to try out.
Quack, quack. Sacramento has never made it past round 2. So will the Northern Cal representation make it down here? We'll see. Then SoCal, right? You look at the Trinity League in high school. It's one of the hotbeds around the country. 7 championship weeks berths. 8 titles. Okay, here we go. Matt Corral, JT Daniels, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kayvon Thibodeau at Oregon, who just had a heck of a game. Completely loaded. Are they going to come back with that team? We'll see.
Eric, now we talked about Pacific. That's what Pops talked about. Now you tell me about the Northwest.
Well, I mean, Seattle has ran roughshod in that bracket for years. Rob Mason's old team director had taken a year or two off. He's coming back into the tournament to reorganize that Seattle bunch. Oregon, they were very competitive in the early stages of the FBU National Championship. It's well ran out there by a group that does a great job with 7-on-7 league. And then you got Eastern Washington, made it to Naples last year in 2019. And Northern Washington is 6th year in the tournament. And so I've saw a bunch of athletes from both of those areas out at the Seattle FBU camp. And so we'll see if Seattle can remain on top out there.
Yeah. Well, I've talked to a couple of those directors, and E-Force was the 7-on-7 group you were speaking about for the Oregon. They just got the dudes out there, man. That TVYFL, a lot of good players.
Old enough to remember when it was the Real Football Players of Orange County, now going by the SoCal moniker, led by JT Daniels and his 7th grade run in 2012. It's time to reveal the matchups out in the West. Alrighty, boys, the balls have spoken out in the West. The games will be played in Oregon and Los Angeles. Who's got the best shot at the path to Naples?
Ooh, that's a good question. I like to see Eastern Washington and Northern Washington match up. You know, Eastern Washington has that championship pedigree. They've been here once, right? They've made it down, so they understand what it takes. Northern Washington, can they match that intensity? Okay, then Oregon and Seattle, 2 traditional powerhouses, both have had success in this tournament. With Rob Mason coming back in and E-Force with Oregon, I mean, they're going to leave no rock unturned. Like, they're going to get all the guys.
And then down in the Pacific, you got L.A. playing Sacramento in the first round, Neil, and then Utah and Irvine, which is kind of a new matchup. If you're asking me who my favorite is out of that whole West, I'm going to go with L.A. I just think that if Freddie Ortega gets the talent out there and gets it together, he's definitely going to get a team through. And then up in the Northwest, maybe Seattle can just hit restart.
Yeah, and I hate to say I agree with what you said on both. But I do. That's really where my gut is. If Rob Mason can do what he did before with getting those guys in SoCal, like we already talked about, Freddie does a phenomenal job. There's no reason to not think that those two are going to be left standing.
I won't agree with Pops when it comes over to the Northeast bracket.
Okay. All right. No sleeper in Seattle then.
Oh. Is this thing on?
That's over so many people's heads. Anyways, the exposure that this championship brings to so many of these youth, if you've ever watched an FBU National Championship game or the FBU All-American Bowl, continues to be at the highest level to get these kids in the right places.
You know what, the great thing about championship week, it's more than just the FBU National Championship. And that's huge now. That is huge, by the way. But what else is happening down here?
Yeah, we talked about the Freshman All-American Bowl, Alex. On that Monday, we run basically a futures combine. It's modeled after our high school combine that's in San Antonio every year. So 200 of the finest 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th graders are going to come out and be tested measurables as well as one-on-ones. So we love to see that. And then exposure, we just partnered with these guys at Prep Red Zone. Let Alan tell you a little bit about them.
Yeah, selfishly, I'm very excited about the futures combine. You're going to get hundreds of the top kids, class 26, 27, 28, 29 down here. So you're getting kids as young as 5th grade and then 8th graders. And, every year, right, without fail, there are All-American Bowl golden tickets handed out and everything else. So a lot of good kids coming down here. A lot of this has become a destination for next level football.
Neil, in the Futures Combine, the athletes that are participating in the national championship will have a chance to do it because it is an off day.
It is good stuff. Pops, more like pumped Red Zone next.
Can we not stress enough how this is the #1 freshman All-American game out there?
I wish there was a second to compare it to. But it's not like McDonald's and Burger King. It's not like Coke and Pepsi. There is no second, Alex.
Do you want to stand up and call out anybody else?
I wish there was a second to call out, because I would do it.
Well, here's one thing, right?
Don't try to have a freshman game. Go have 6th grade All-American, 10U All-American. Do not come in that freshman All-American space. Do you hear me? World.
There it goes, then.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Let's move ahead to the East bracket. Our final look to complete the 2021 FBU National Championship. Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Maryland Metro, Central Carolina, South Carolina, Richmond, Carolina. Alex, these regions, Northeast, Atlantic, there are some teams that have made some memorable runs through the years, and they may not be as championship heavy as some of the other brackets, but there's still something special about the group from the East.
You know what? From the Carolinas to the DMVs, they've had so much good football. I think it's one of the more underrated talent areas that are around there. I mean, even let's go back to when the GFL with Trevor Lawrence, #1 overall pick, they played that team out of Maryland that was so talented and took them to the wire. Yeah, let's just talk about it. Underrated area as far as people knowing about the talent there.
All I know is Maryland has been a regular in semifinals, been a regular in finals games, finally broke down with Antoine Littleton and Colin Heinrich in that bunch, Joel Farouk at Alabama. But other teams in that, right? You got Carolina, who Sam Howell and Sam Hartman played for, and De'Ami Brown. Let's don't forget Hayes Greer down there, Neil Sika. And then Central Carolina, it'll be the first appearance. A lot of kids out of the South Carolinas coming up to play for that. Richmond, 8th grade team, made it to Naples last year. And then Maryland Metro, Kevin Holmes has really picked up where Mike Anderson and crew left off, right? With Team Maryland and hadn't missed a beat. And then South Carolina, second year in the tournament.
Connecticut, Zach Allen with the Cardinals. Tyler Booker, right? He's down at IMG, but he's a national recruit going to Bama. Ellis Robinson could be the hottest prospect in that class.
Lockdown corner.
Oh, yeah. So long. Nice, man. He's a nice player. He's from Connecticut, right? Then you look at Rhode Island. 2 times down here championship week. Jacob Gibbons. Remember that guy? Not the biggest dude in the world.
Look Joe Buffard in the eyes.
Right in the eyes, bro. But he put the team on his back those years he was down here. He was a touchdown machine. I think he had over 30 touchdowns, something like that.
Set a record right at the time.
It was incredible. And then Team Mass. Neil likes to throw out the term brass tacks. Team Mass is this program here. 14 appearances. First ever New England team to make the finals. I mean, PJ with Mass Elite. He just gets all the top kids in that state, all the kids that go over play in those private schools, they all come through here.
Take it over the Naples Grand.
You can't mention Mass without taxes, Boston Tea
I see that.
Right. Of course, a lot of great names that you just brought up, but more importantly, Hayes Greer was the closest I got to the cover of Tiger Beat, so we made a lot of progress when he was playing back in the day. It's time to look at the matchups in the East bracket.
All right, fellas. Hey, be nice out there. Never underestimate the size of the dog in the fight. Jacob Gibbons may be the same height as me, but I could take his 40 time and each one of yours. Bring it down to the field right now. Let's go. But before we do that, hey, let's get another fact out there. Boof, truth. In that 2021, we had 8 of our FBU National Championship alumni drafted to the NFL. It started off with our #1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence, Rondé Moore in round 3, and continued on with all 8 athletes.
Cheshire, Connecticut, Charlotte, North Carolina are the sites for the East bracket. We'll get you excited about the matchups.
Yeah. First off, Connecticut, Rhode Island, right? You have Connecticut building with that CT Pride program. They're doing a great job of getting a lot of good kids in there. Rhode Island, sometimes they come with it, right? We talked about Jacob Gibbons. Sometimes they come with it. Sometimes they're a step down. We'll see what they do. And then Massachusetts and Maryland Metro. Circle this game for round 1, man. You got 2 heavyweights, 2 teams, 2 programs with a lot of experience, a lot of talent to pick from. Circle that matchup.
And in the Atlantic, we're going to see, some new blood, Neil. You got Carolina having home field advantage in that first round in Charlotte. And then you got Richmond versus Raleigh in the first round, which is new blood. So we're going to get new blood. Somebody's going to produce a new team down here coming into Naples for the Elite 8.
Coming into Naples, that's what it's all about, right? This is a dream destination for so many youth football players.
It is. Again, you come down here, have a great time, but I think, Eric, you can kind of go more into this. What would they look for when they come down to this premier destination?
I mean, Collier, this was a vision of Steve Quinn's and the Collier County County Commissioners for years, and now it's about 60% done, right? And it's the continuation. We're going to have 5 more fields in 2022 at our disposal, so you'll be able to get out of here at a reasonable hour and go enjoy the beach.
So no more late nights.
And everything. No, I didn't say no late nights. Meet me at the Mercado. Meet me at the Mercado, coaches. But we've had a year-round of events right down here, starting with Top Gun and the 1,500 players that FBU brought in. We did the Battle of the Beach series, which produced some of the most memorable games and some top 25 high school matchups. And, so it just keeps growing here and growing. And we're proud of this complex, and I know the community's proud of it.
Collier County, it's come a long way from just having Ray Finkel as the sole football name in its past, now with the FBU National Championship in its 11th year. You know the matchups. We've shown you the brackets. We'll come back to close out the FBU National Championship selection show with our picks when we return. All right, back to put a bow on this FBU National Championship selection show for 2021. The path to Naples is right in front of us. We've revealed the matchup 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, which are fantastic tournaments. But let's not forget, there's a 10U competition that also goes on throughout the
Yeah, it's going to be a great bracket of talent that really feeds into these FBU National Championship teams. It's kind of the stepping stone pre-K kindergarten level of coming down here. And last year, GFL won that. So, their 6th grade team's going to be ready and already having experienced this.
More recent reference, we're tick-tocking out of time. So let's get to your predictions. Who takes home the trophy in 8th, 7th, and 6th?
Well, I got to be like my man here and throw on the shades for this one. Block out all that shade and hate that's going to come my way for these predictions. We'll start with the 6th grade. On this level, you often don't know what you're going to get, right? It's a mixed bag. New kids, maybe first time away from home for a lot of these kids, right? They don't know. They're coming to Florida to play football. Heck, I like Central Florida to come out of here. I think Low Wood is doing a fantastic job of getting a lot of good dudes there. He's working the regular season. His tryouts have been highly attended. I'm expecting big things there. 7th grade, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Dallas. Another traditional powerhouse.
Pops Dallas.
Yeah, Pops Dallas. Got that? P-O-P-S.
Make sure you archive these.
I can give you my phone number, too, if you want. I think it's going to be pretty good competition in that Texas bracket, and I think Dallas is going to survive. And then the 8th grade, man, this is the big one. I'm going to give you, I don't want to say 2, but I'm going to give you the championship matchup, okay? It is going to be Mississippi versus GFL. Mississippi is coming with some dogs. I talked to Marcus Dent this week. He said they're coming to do something they've never done before. I think they reached the finals. They play GFL. I'm not going to say who wins that game, but I think my man here might have an idea.
I'm doing my predictions later. I'm doing my predictions right after you guys. Go ahead, dive into this. I want to hear this.
6th grade, I'm going to go South Florida coming back in because coaching might suffice, but that team speed is always heck to deal with down there. 7th grade, until somebody shows me they can beat Georgia Middle School, plus the improvements they made, I think it's a runaway. 8th grade, this guy's been, hiding my, looking at my notes or something. I got GFL three-peating, and since we're using all the movie references, they're like Michael Myers, you just can't kill them. Nice. Neil, I do have them playing Mississippi out of the West, and I have it being a 33-32 ball game here in overtime.
Even the score.
Wow.
Alex,
This is what we do. Predictions, right?
that's your
pick teams.
cue.
That's the thing, right? Look, I don't care if it's South Florida, North Florida, Central Florida, a guy on a yacht in Florida. At the end of the day, these guys have these amazing T-shirts on, all this kind of stuff, shirts on. If you look right now, I have my business shirt on, corporate company man shirt on. I want everybody to see this. And here's the reason why. Because Georgia is going to come in and beat every team out there as much as they will compete. It'll be a clean sweep for Georgia. You can pick a team, South Georgia, GMSAA, GFL, 6th grade through 8th grade, throw in 10U. It's going to be a Georgia sweep.
Way to go out on a limb.
It's not a limb.
It happened last year. It's not a limb. You're right.
I'm the objective man. I'm
Go ahead.
staying right down the middle. No predictions for me. I will say it will be immaculate weather when we hit the path to Naples in December here at the Paradise Coast Sports Complex. But East, West regions, don't listen to what they say. I believe in you. I think someone can come out of there and make some hay to the championship game. Fellas, looking forward to another great year. The 11th edition of the FBU National Championship. Alex Benson, that's Eric Richards, the National Recruiting Director for the All-American Bowl. Pops, great to see you again. Looking forward to having you down here. National Recruiting and Scouting Director for Prep Red Zone next. Boys, shades up.
Shades up. We'll see you.
I'm Neil Sika. Thanks for watching the 2021 FBU National Championship Selection Show, and we'll see you on the path to Naples.